Brunson, allow him to operate at the top, 101.
Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good, the tip, it's gone! It's gone! It's gone! With 1.2 remaining, Knicks take the lead. OG Anunoby, and it's 107-106. Bedlam here at the Garden. They can't believe it. Brunson.
I'm sorry, I had to open the show on that. Welcome into a special Thursday, June 11th edition of the Cory Sanning Show. I'm your host, yours truly, and we are here to react to the greatest comeback in NBA playoff history. You heard that right. You saw that right there. The non-box out heard round the world, courtesy of De'Aaron Fox, and the Knicks overcome a 29-point deficit to win a thriller at home at Madison Square Garden in front of a celebrity-packed crowd, and are now one win away from the franchise's first championship since 1973. So there was no way in hell I couldn't react to this. There was no way in hell I couldn't get on here and tell you what I think, because there's two completely different directions on the road you can travel when it comes to looking at this objectively. You can say, what an epic choke job by Wemby and the Spurs. And they've been doing this all series. But this, I'm a Miami Heat fan, as you can see right here. I thought 2011 Game 2 was bad. 15 with about 6 and change to play. 29 points, up over to more than 20 in the fourth quarter. And the Knicks come back and win it at the buzzer, basically. Oh, so many things had to go right. So many things had to go wrong if you're San Antonio. And we're going to get into those here in just a second. But for those of you that are just tuning into the show, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell to get notified of when we drop our daily content here on the Cory Sanning Show. We actually have a special video for you tomorrow. There will be no show tomorrow night, but we will have a special video drop here on the channel. And we're looking for new sponsors. So those of you that are interested in sponsoring the program, email us at info@sanningmedia.com, and we'll get right back to you. But there's one topic on this show and one topic only, because it's fitting. It is fitting. New York leads the NBA Finals 3-1. I cannot believe I'm saying that. And the Spurs are now on the brink of elimination. And they look like a team that's not ready for the moment. And I think last night was clearly indicative of that. Knicks come back to win 107-106. San Antonio, after putting up 76 in the first half, hitting 14 threes in the first half, scored 30 points total in the second half. They shot 20.5% from the field, 21%. They shot 18% from three. They had 9 turnovers in the second half after only 2 in the first. They managed only 14 points in the third quarter and only 16 points in the final period. The Knicks outscored them 58-30 in the second half, and it wasn't even really, they did go on a one big 13-0 run to cut it to 16, but there wasn't a big chunk 25-0 run, 25-2 run. And Mitch Johnson's sitting there not calling timeouts. The Spurs are jacking up a bunch of threes. I get they were falling in the first half, but you got to look for something else that's working, especially when you're on the road in a hostile environment like Madison Square Garden. They completely abandoned what built them the lead in the second half, the Spurs, and we're going to start with them. Did the Spurs choke? Absolutely. I don't care how much of comeback kids the Knicks have been. Yeah, they came back from 22 down against Cleveland, but A, that's Cleveland. B, they have James Harden. The Spurs have Victor Wembanyama. They've got the alien, who, heading into this series, many people were regarding him as the best player in basketball. Certainly not against the argument. I still believe it's SGA, but certainly couldn't argue against you saying Wemby at this moment. In the first half, the Spurs played fast, moved the ball, got paint touches, and finals record for 3.5, 14. The jumpers stopped falling, and they just didn't attack the rim enough, and I didn't understand why. And Mitch Johnson looked like a deer in headlights. He looked like Captain Smith watching the Titanic sink. He was just catatonic. He didn't know what to do. Mike Brown putting in Jose Alvarado, the best coaching decision he's made in his entire coaching career. Changed the game in the second half. The shooting regression, though, was brutal. The Spurs shot nearly 60% overall and more than 50% from three in the first half, and you already heard the numbers of the second half. They just looked like that they got comfortable. They chilled, they kicked back, they put their feet up, and they said, yeah, we got this, man. This is over. Ain't nobody coming back from, even if they're at home down almost 30. Come on. We snatched their spirits. The Spurs, and especially Wemby, are talking trash, showboating, and it came back to bite them. Miami Heat fans, we know all that too well. We know that too well. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. And then obviously 9 turnovers in the second, and much like every single Spurs loss in this series, they just get nervous-handed late in the game. In game 2, we all remember Wemby's turnover that game. Missed the game winner. With Victor Wembanyama in this game, misses 3 of 4 free throws in the fourth quarter and 2 with less than 2 minutes to go. And the second one he shot, he didn't even look like he was using his form. And Victor Wembanyama is a 85% free throw shooter. That's just choking. That's just not being ready for the moment. And we've seen the NBA Finals do this to many young superstars. It did it to LeBron James. It did it to Magic Johnson. It did it to Tyrese Halliburton, even though I know he wasn't fully healthy for the entire series, and he's not a superstar anyway. We've seen young superstars get overwhelmed in their first finals, and Wemby's no different. Doesn't look like Michael Jordan 6-0 is going to get touched by him. At least not at this moment. Complete rage bait, by the way. But Wemby had 25 shots to score 24 points. Wasn't his greatest game. It was not. In the second half, he mustered up just 8 points on 3 of 10 shooting. He was 0 of 4 from 3, and obviously 1 of 4 from the free throw line. He only scored 5 points and was 0 of 2 from 3 in the fourth quarter. I mean, he scored 16 in the first half, 8 in the second. What happened? Nothing happened. They just went away from it because they got too comfortable. They got too comfortable. And I cannot believe that a San Antonio Spurs team would do that, but then I have to think to myself again, this is not the Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili-led Spurs. And even remember them. The last time a finals game got decided, especially one that was, a comeback effort from the home team by missed free throws, was 2013 Game 6. That was 13 years ago. That's how long it's been. And ironically, again, it's by the Spurs. Man, the Spurs have some heartbreaking playoff shots. Derek Fisher, 0.4 seconds. Ray Allen. And now OG Anunoby. And what a game by OG Anunoby. 33 points, 7 of 9 from 3. Shoot, if he keeps this up and he has himself a nice stretch to end the series and the Knicks close it out in the next game or two, maybe OG's stealing finals MVP. I know Jalen Brunson would be a consensus pick just because he's Jalen Brunson and he's put up good numbers, but he hasn't been the most consistent. But what a choke job. And let's not even... Victor Wembanyama is not the game's GOAT. Let me just put it out right there. The game's GOAT is De'Aaron Fox and Mitch Johnson. What are you doing, Mitch Johnson? You can't save these timeouts for next game. Call your timeouts when they go on a little spurt. Get your guys refocused and get them locked in and remind them what got them there in the first half. Oh, yeah, it's the Garden. It's loud. Boo-hoo, it is for everybody. So what? You scored 80. You were up 29 points. You shut the Garden up for 3/4 of the game. But then you have to think back. They did this at home in games 1 and 2, too. They blew late leads. Didn't execute down the stretch. They're a few plays away from being up 3-1, and they're a few plays away from having been swept. There's two sides to that double-edged sword, and it's sharp on both sides. Because it looked like for a second there the Knicks were going to win Game 3. Spurs pulled that one off like I thought they would. Was in the middle of the show last night. Didn't even for some reason remember when the game had started. Called my friend and he's like, dude, it was like a 26-point lead at that point. I'm like, well, We're going back to San Antonio tied 2-2. My prediction's in some jeopardy. Feel a lot better about that now. But De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox. Oh. De'Aaron Fox last night was, I was very disappointed in what I saw from De'Aaron Fox. Just not even, I mean, he wasn't the most efficient shooting the ball, but it wasn't even just that. It was the dumb plays he made down the stretch that cost them the game. What are you doing with 13 seconds left in the game? And you're going to try for a fast break layup instead of running out the clock? De'Aaron Fox for the night shot 6 of 16. That's 38% from the floor. It's not like he was knocking down shots. Yeah, he had 4 threes, but he shot 9 of them. 4 turnovers. What are we doing here? Dribble out the clock. De'Aaron Fox is a good free throw shooter. I'd have been pretty, aside from the nerves, even though he is a veteran player, it's his first time on the final stage, I'd have been confident in him making both free throws. And then we're not having this conversation. Or if at least makes one, it goes to overtime. Granted, I think if that had happened and even if it had gone to overtime, I think the Spurs would have been cooked mentally. And I think they are now too. But what are you doing? And there's even surfaced compilations on Twitter now of De'Aaron Fox's miscues and boneheaded plays he made down the stretch in the second half as a whole that helped cost the Spurs the game. It was Victor Wembanyama's turnover in game 2, and this time it was De'Aaron Fox thinking that for some reason it was a good idea to go up for a layup. And they addressed that on First Take this morning. We even have a little snippet of what De'Aaron Fox had to say, and we're going to go ahead and listen to that, and we will react on the other side because this is some unbelievable. Just listen.
Haven't scored. Try to get a layup, get up 3. Make them force them to need a 3. And OG made a good block. I just thought I would be able to outrun him. That's it.
Okay. So now today, yes, we're talking about how great the Knicks were down the stretch, but how much blame, unfortunately, do you need to put on De'Aaron Fox for that decision late?
Not too much. Not too much. Seriously, everyone's overreacting to that play, and we watched that play time and time again. I watched that play about 15 times. Look at his momentum. Look where it's taking him to. He's in the moment. All we could do is say hell of a job by OG Anunoby for not giving up on that play. That was one of those moments where it was a give or take. Everybody's ready to point that one single moment out on De'Aaron Fox. I didn't see nothing wrong with that. Like, he was literally going full speed ahead in the moment. Check it out, Stephen A. Pick your head up and watch it again. Watch it again.
Are you going to literally tell me that watch it again? I've been up all night watching it.
I know.
And I went back and watched the game. I've been up all night.
I know you have. I just wanted your attention. But
Okay, I have to pause it there because I'm blown away by what Big Perk just said. They went into the production meeting this morning and said, hey, we got to disagree. There's no way in hell he believes that. What do you mean there's nothing wrong with it? His momentum, he was barely ahead of OG on the play. I could clearly see from my point of view, even though I was watching it on TV, that OG was probably going to come and make this block. It looked pretty clear from my point of view. What do you mean? His momentum did not make him. If he was 2 steps ahead of him, I would have understood, but he wasn't. He wasn't. Slip through. Maybe OG tries to foul you and he misses you and you run out a couple more seconds. What are we doing here? And I think De'Aaron Fox would make those free throws. What is Perk talking about? And he's the NBA player, not me. Never coached at that level, never played at that level. I've covered it at that level, but we all know what that means. That means that I just wasn't good enough to play, which I clearly admit. But Perk. In fact, no, we're going to do it again because that was a horrible take. Cap it off with some laughter. Big Perk, come on, man. I know you've had some doozies in the day of opinions, but that was, oh, man. On to the New York Knicks, though. What a postseason. What a magical run. The New York Knicks are going to be crowned champions, I believe, by Tuesday night at the latest. And I the objective sports fan in me is so happy for that city and for that franchise. The Miami Heat fan in me is bitter and completely disappointed because I believe that the combination of Jimmy and Bam is better than the combination of Jalen Brunson and Cat. Jalen Brunson and Cat are going to have hardware, and Jimmy and Bam did not because Pat Riley failed epically in trying to build a supporting cast around him. I will go to my grave stating that. The Knicks in the last 2 postseasons, get this. Teams that have been trailing in the last postseason by 20-plus points in a playoff game, every other NBA team combined, 4-71. 4-71. The New York Knicks, 5-3. Now, granted, you're like, how did you get down by 20 that much? How did you come back that many times in 2 postseasons? 5-3. They're winning them at a 63% clip. 63. Teams that are up 3-1 in the NBA Finals are 37-1 all time. LeBron James isn't on the other side. Kyrie Irving's not on the other side. Ty Lue's not the coach on the opposite side. Yeah, I'm ruling it out. The Spurs may get one more game at home just to save face. But this series is over. This series is over. The New York Knicks are going to be crowned champions. Stephen A. Smith is going to be insufferable all summer, as if he's not insufferable enough as it is because he's just Stephen A. and we love to hate on Stephen A. But, oh, heaven help me. What do you all think? Was it more of a Spurs choke or was it more of a Knicks win? I know that's such a basic and pointless question to some, but really, what do you think contributed more? Was it more the Knicks' heart or was it Spurs choking? Do you think it was both? I personally think that this is the biggest choke job since 28-3, and that's even a different sport. And then before that, that same year, we had 3-1 Golden State. My mind is blown. Blown. Let me say that again. Blown. That the New York Knicks are about to be NBA champions. It is a crazy reality to accept. And you know something funny too? What the hell, just to get off topic for a second, what the hell does Taylor Swift have to do with the New York Knicks? She is not a Knicks fan. She was sitting there jumping up and down when they were down by 24 points. And then they still kept showing her, and I'm sorry, I am so sick and tired of seeing Taylor Swift at these sporting events. This is not about her. Give us a break, Jesus. I guess Travis is going to have some competition now because Taylor can go to him and say, hey, that was the best game I've ever attended. Travis has been in many AFC title games and Super Bowls in that span since they've been together. But what do you all think? Choke? Perseverance? Choke? Perseverance? I don't know. You're going to put my money on it and had a gun to my head? I'd say this is an epic choke job because 29 points, it doesn't matter how much mental fortitude and how much heart you have. That's a lot to come back from in the span of 30 minutes or 24 minutes of basketball in the second half. That is a lot. And Wemby has to wear this one too because now we're looking at Wemby and we realize what his flaws are. And I said this from the get-go. I said this before the series, actually, that Knicks have got some beef down low. Cat and Mitchell Robinson are not skinny. Victor Wembanyama needs to put on some muscle. He needs to get in the weight room this offseason, and he needs to eat. You want to hire me, Wemby? I got you on a discounted rate. And he needs to develop a post game. Victor Wembanyama has no post game. He's like a 7'5" 2 guard. Granted, the jump shot and the ball handle, that's going to do him well. Developed some post moves, and we saw LeBron. I mean, he wasn't a great jump shooter, then became a respectable jump shooter. He wasn't a good post player at all. We saw that in 2011. He developed the post game, and then the rest is history from 2012 on. Wemby needs to go down, and Wemby needs to, once this series is over and the Spurs lose and they go clean out their lockers, because the Spurs are going to lose. They're not coming back from down 3-1 in this series. I'm sorry. You don't come back from losses like that. The veteran San Antonio Spurs team, led by one of the greatest coaches ever, didn't come back from that in 2013. They came back the next year with a vengeance, but it took them a year. Victor Wembanyama needs to get with a nutritionist and a weight trainer, and he needs to go consult Hakeem Olajuwon. I couldn't be more serious. Victor Wembanyama needs to pick up his phone or whichever phone, his agent have to pick up their phone, and he needs to give Hakeem a call, and he needs to go work with him this summer. Develop some post moves. Develop an offensive repertoire of go-to moves. You're unstoppable in the post, and you can shoot perimeter shots, and you can handle the ball, and you can hit free throws. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit as it is. But now it's like with Luka Doncic a couple years ago in the finals. He was exposed in that series for all of his flaws, and some of his flaws are due to poor effort and conditioning. Wemby, I mean, he's a 7-footer. He did look gas. He's looked gassed quite a bit this series. Maybe his conditioning isn't up to par of what we'd like it to be. I don't know. I'm not privy to behind-the-scenes access to the Spurs locker room and their training sessions, but he's gotten way too tired too quick. And the Knicks are playing the same amount of minutes, and the Knicks are down and have to put in so much effort each game in the second half to come back and win, and they're outwinding Wemby. So I think the biggest thing for this offseason, my biggest takeaway from the series is that the finals overwhelms the best of them when they're that young. Not Dwayne Wade, but, he's on another planet. Not Kobe Bryant, not Michael Jordan. It overwhelmed Larry Bird. He had 2 8-point games in his first finals. It overwhelmed Tragic Johnson in 1984. Granted, he had already had a couple of rings by then, so he maybe had an excuse, but he still... that 1984 series, man, he cost him that, and he knows it. We saw, even with Michael, I know once he got to the finals, it wasn't like that, but we saw him struggle to get there. It wasn't because he choked, but he struggled to get there because he didn't have enough help. We saw Shaq in his first finals get taken to school by Hakeem Olajuwon. Came back with a vengeance. LeBron, 2007. 2011. And then he came back with a vengeance. And he's performed great. He's been one of the greatest NBA Finals performers ever since then. Granted, unfortunately for him, that hasn't always translated to wins. But, look at his numbers. 2012 on. Nothing you can scoff at. Nothing you can scoff at. He and D-Wade and MJ probably have the 3 greatest finals performances ever. Giannis is probably up there. I can't put LeBron's 2016 above D-Wade's 06 or above Jordan's 9. No, not above, because a lot of people forget that 1993 series, the Suns were the favorite, had home court advantage, and had the MVP. The Bulls were supposed to lose that one. MJ had to average 41 points for them to win that series in 6 games. But yeah, what do you all think? I am blown away. This is why I love playoff basketball so much. Do I watch every single regular season game recently? I'm getting better about that now. No. When you're a fan of one team and all of a sudden they're not any good anymore and they don't give any signs of showing any promise, I'm holding my breath on the Giannis things. We saw that with Dame. We saw that with Gordon Hayward. We saw that with Kevin Durant. So many stars were supposed to go to Miami, and of course it did not happen. But yeah, I'm disappointed in the Spurs. I am proud of the Knicks from a basketball, purist standpoint. And I think the Spurs will be back, and I think they'll grow from this. Now, granted, they'll have to improve a little this offseason because I'm sure OKC will come back with a vengeance too, and they were not healthy, so that's another reason why. But going into this series, I said, I told many people, I was like, because we knew the Knicks were going. They were up 3-0, 2-0. The Cavs, Cleveland just folded. They have Jim Harden, that's why. Probably not completely why, but it translated. But if the Spurs could get there, the inexperience, their beefiness down low, they had a chance. And the inexperience that was my biggest reason for picking the Knicks in 6, was inexperience on the part of the Spurs. Did the Knicks have a ton of finals experience? No, but they've got a ton of veteran experience. People have been there, done that in other moments. We saw the Knicks last year. They should have been in the NBA Finals over the Pacers, and they blew that big lead in Game 1, and they have learned from that. They've got a better coach in place. I never thought I'd say Mike Brown was a better coach than Tom Thibodeau, but Mike Brown's one win away from redefining his coaching legacy and leading New York to a championship. The mecca of basketball, on top of the world for the first time since 1973. My dad was 2 years old when that happened. 2 years old. I wouldn't be born for 24 years. Then came the Game 7 John Starks debacle. The 1998 finals against the Spurs, where they got swept because they were an 8 seed and they had no chance. Man, what a story. What a story. And like I said, once it's all said and done and it's orange and blue skies, I cannot believe I'm saying that, over the entire NBA landscape this offseason, I mean, everyone's going to be chasing the New York Knicks. And they'll have rightfully earned it because this postseason has been something to behold. And Jalen Brunson, Cat, OG Anunoby, Jose Alvarado, Mike Brown, Josh Hart, Landry Shamet. Hats off to you. Hats off to you. Apologies for the names I missed. Wemby, Dylan Harper, who they do not use enough. I forgot to mention that as well. Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle. You'll be back. But you're going to have to take this experience and learn from it. I know it's not over, but it would take a miracle of all miracles, as in what just happened last night for San Antonio, to crawl back in this series. I just don't see it happening. I think the Knicks are going to close it out in 6. Would I be surprised if they closed it out in Game 5 just because the Spurs possibly being mentally just shot? No. But, yeah, here we are. And here the Knicks are. But I do appreciate you all for tuning in. Not as much of a big of an audience tonight. I realize that. Those of you that are just now tuning into the show, please go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. You can get this also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Please comment to boost the algorithm. Hit that notification bell to be notified when we drop our daily content. Do have a special video coming out for you tomorrow on a special anniversary. You'll see why then. But overall, remember, drink or eat your greens. I had a green smoothie today. Eat your protein. Lift your weights. Get some sleep. Pray to God. Go to work tomorrow and close out the week on the right foot. And, as always, until next time, what do I usually say? I am out.